Aloha, I am Kanoi. Thank you for joining me on this junk journal flip through of my Christmas junk journal that I created. And the first thing to note is that I created this upside down. I sewed in the signatures and this was upside down, and I just did not have the patience to go back and try to undo it all. So I was fine with it because it is a junk journal and it is what it is. This is just a little hair clip that I got at Daiso, and I thought that that fits perfectly. A piece of sari that I actually had this, yeah, there's an eyelet here. So this actually holds it closed. I didn't have it tied up. So this junk journal, again, getting better in the realm of actually creating intentional pages. So this one is a lot more themed, obviously made for Christmas. So my style is clearly evolving at this point. So I just have some, is this even paper or is it vellum? Here's a photo of our Christmas tree with my daughter, and then a photo of us at church. And then this is, I think this was some backing of, it was like another layer on a piece of clothing that it was a vintage piece of clothing that I had. Anyway, I tore it up. And then some packaging, must have wrapping paper, I think, that we got, somebody gave to us. What's in here? Barbers Point Bowling Center. Okay, so we went bowling, and I'm not sure why they gave out these chips. I remember in the old days, they used to actually give those. I honestly don't remember, but this was a printable. I don't remember the Etsy store, but they made these little seed packets and I just thought they were adorable. So a little pocket here, goodbye 2020. Thank you, Jesus. That was the worst year ever. Actually, 2021 didn't get much better, but piece of vellum that I had from a subscription, a planner subscription, and my kids and I were making some ornaments for a segment that we were going to be filming for my job because I was TV host. And then this is a magazine page. So I cut this image out and just stapled it on here and did some packing paper. There's some stamping there. Another magazine image that I just collaged on here. I tried to create a tuck spot, but again, I hadn't learned yet that dictionary pages are not the most reliable anything. So that's not good. Some coffee stained, what do you call these? Index cards that I made a journaling card out of. And here's another one of those cute little Barbers Point bowling chips that I just tucked into one of these Project Life. I think it's a Project Life envelope that I cut. Then here's another printable page. Shoot, I am so sorry that I don't know the name, but I just sewed some lace on there. Another magazine, magazine image that I made a tuck spot out of. This was out of junk mail. I remember it was a little pamphlet that came in the mail, and I thought this was adorable, so I cut that out and made a journaling card on here. And I just wrote what I was getting my kids for Christmas, some stickers from my friend this is her company. She always sent me things and was the most adorable. This is a piece from my daughter's, this little jumper that she grew out of. And I thought that, again, the fabric was adorable and I love this little lace trim. So I made sure to keep that part so that I could have it in my journal. Coffee stained doily with, I guess, I don't know what magazine it was, but, or maybe it was a book. Is this a book? Might be a book. Lots of vintage images in it though. More vellum, to a little tuck spot from that same book. And just did some journaling on some scrapbook paper. Little bindi, doily, printable. Here I created a small pocket and did some coffee stain index card journaling with a tiny piece of ribbon on there. And just a card from my friend. I sewed on a ribbon here at the top. So I love to have all of the stuff. I love texture. I love the things. Here is a collage. What do you call this? I always forget what these are called. Cluster. Collage cluster. Another journaling card that I made. And this was our Christmas segment that my co-host and I filmed. And this is just a printable, I think, that I cut out and created a tuck spot with. Another little bindi doily printable that I just stapled on. Tuck spot from, this was an actual piece of, I want to say this was from like a planner kit, and you could create these corner tuck spots, me on set, and just some more journaling about that. And then here's a piece of vellum that I just sewed an image on, did some more journaling, lots and lots of journaling. This was the church musical that we went to. So this was the program from that. And then I just added a little tuck spot pocket here. This was me and my daughter at the musical. And then I created a belly band here on this card and just placed a tag. I believe this was an actual Christmas tag that you're supposed to put on gifts, but I just pulled it out of my supplies and threw it in here for some journaling. That was cute. All right, how did I have this? And then here's a piece of acetate from the Planner Society, and I created a pocket here, some photos of my daughter sewing and baking and doing the fun things. And then this was the candle that I was burning. So I do like to, if I can, keep any type of packaging just to remember the smells. I always burn candles. So right now I've got the Pink Petal Tea Cake from Bath & Body Works. So I usually will peel off the label so I can remember the scent that I'm currently burning. I usually get the same scents over and over, but every now and then I'll get a different one, and that was the one at the time that I loved. And here is the 2020 holiday cup from Starbucks. Of course, they changed them up, so I do like to cut that out and have that. Here's the Advent. Yeah, this was the Advent journaling challenge. I don't know. I just bought it off of Etsy, and I don't think I ever completed it, but it is what it is. And this is actually some packaging that I got or in a gift, and so I just sewed it in there, created a pocket. And I was throwing out my washi tape. So before I threw it out, I took a piece from every roll, pasted on here before, because sometimes it looks different in the roll than it does on paper. So I wanted to make sure that I indeed did not like it. And sure enough, this, you can see, is, at least for me, not the most beautiful spread. And so I was right in the fact that I did not like these washi tapes. And here I just sewed an image on this vellum. And this is where my Christmas cards begin. A lot of Christmas cards. I only really kept the ones from close family and close friends, because of course you kind of get Christmas cards from anyone and everyone, and you know, every neighbor. And so I definitely kept the ones that were really special to me and just found spaces for them. So this is from a placemat, and I just sewed that in here to create a tuck spot. I sewed another magazine image on here, and here's another one of those seed packets that I printed out, and I just have some photos. When we were doing homeschool, my daughter was not impressed, still is not impressed in school, and here we were baking cookies, so I just printed those photos out and kept them. Another piece of acetate that I created a pocket with, and then some journaling on some cards and pieces of ephemera and stuff that I had from other kits from the past. Here's another book page. I don't remember what book this is, but this is the book that I kept getting all of these vintage images from. Some vintage fabric here, and another journaling card that I made. With a journaling card. I actually really liked this journaling card. I thought it was so cute. These journaling cards that I created were inspired by Rabbit Warren Designs. She makes the best journaling cards. If you ever go watch her flip throughs, they are incredible. Another vellum tuck spot. And then this was, I want to say this was, yeah, this was a printable. I don't remember who and where. I may have just downloaded the images, but I just thought this was so cute. And this was kind of on a whim that I happened to create this. But I just put scriptures on here that I was learning about and journaling about, and just created these little flip outs. I don't know quite how I did this. I don't know. Another little tuck spot here, and a card that we got from Alaska Airlines for doing a segment with them, and more journaling on a journaling card. And then this is a piece of coffee stained parchment paper. I just love that. Only certain pens work on here though, if I remember correctly. You can't use anything. Piece of vintage fabric that I got from a thrift store. Some tags that I kept from gifts that I received, I guess. And another candle. Here's some post-it notes that I ended up not using. I was going to use them for whatever, keeping notes. Another doily from Little Bindi, and I just did some journaling on that. Here's a milk cap. I believe this is a Tim Holtz milk cap, but it says Merry Christmas on it, so I kept it in here. And I think we sang at this church, and so I took their welcome card that are usually in the pockets in front of you, and I wrote the worship set and the songs that we sang. Here's a photo of my daughter at church, and some packaging from Buca di Beppo. We went to go eat there. And then here's just some tags and journaling cards that I had and I made and used a book page to create a pocket. And I just sewed some lace here, created another journaling card with some journaling space here. This was another little spot, I think that, yep, journaling spot. Man, I feel like I put a lot of work into this. I don't know if I could be this creative this time. And another coffee stained hymnal. This was an image from a digital kit that I want to say it was from that Advent kit. More Christmas cards. And then this, so here's the image from that digital kit, but I ended up painting to kind of expand the image onto this hymnal. And this is just some journaling that I did around that. So I was testing out some paint and how the white pen would work on that. And this probably came in a gift. I don't really remember. Oh, actually. Okay, well, I honestly don't know where this is, but clearly my kid was opening some gifts, so I guess this was some of the gift wrap. And here's another journaling card that I created and just did some journaling on a wooden tag, a little piece of paper. Oh, this was my first podcast that I ever did at work. We started podcasting, and so that was one. I was interviewing a doctor. And here's a little thank you card. And I think I had intended to create a belly band, but I accidentally glued it, or maybe I sewed it. I may have sewn it. Yeah, actually I just sewed it. So these ended up being kind of sort of tuck spots, I guess. I don't know. And another gift that a friend had given to me, and I kept the tag that she made on the gift wrap. It was so cute. This is another one of those corner pieces that I got in a subscription kit, and I don't remember what it was. And some more fabric from this. I want to say this was from an outfit. I think this was from a dress that I didn't like anymore. No, this may have just been a piece of fabric. And then another little cute piece that I just stapled on here because I thought it was so darn cute. Here is a Planner Society vellum that I created a in flip up. I don't know. I don't know all the terminology. And this was a book page, a little winter book page from a children's book. And it's all about snowy morning, so it's wintry. Figured it might fit in here well. Another pocket that I created, sewed in, and a card that I got from friends. Oh, so I interviewed an author, and she sent me this welcome kit that came with her book. So her book was called A Rainbow Like You, Andrea Fensfeld. So I interviewed her, and these were some little marketing ephemera pieces that came in her book. So I definitely wanted to keep those. Oh yeah, I thought there was something else. I was like, I know there was something small. Also this little guitar, what do you call these things? Anyway, I just kept that in this coffee stain envelope. This was a vintage envelope actually, but I did do some coffee staining on that. And I think I was just really into sewing. I loved using this red thread too. So I just did some random sewing here and there. More Christmas cards, as you can see here, and more journaling. And this was another one of those tags that's meant to go on gifts. So I thought it was cute. I just kept that. Another tag that I got from a friend, and then I did some journaling on this journaling card that I made. So this was actually a card that came in an old planner subscription box, but it had some writing on it, so I just put a piece of an index card on there. I sewed it together, and then voila, you have a journaling card. Anything can be recreated, reinvented. This was another one of those that was like that. And then here was another little tag that was intended for gifts that you're supposed to put the to and from on, and that kind of created a little, I don't know, just interactive piece. Another pocket here, magazine page. I just liked the image. I thought it was cute. And then this is a piece of black construction paper, which I learned that metallic pens don't work as well on this paper as it did on my other black paper, but it was still doable. But I don't know, I'm not a fan of construction paper. I don't like the feel of it. Another piece of vellum from another kit that I had in the past, and some more of that fabric ribbon construction paper. This was the backing to a pair of earrings that my friend Angela bought for me, but that vintage image was so cute. More church notes, another journaling card that I made here with a little flip up and a belly band in this pocket. You are loved. So this is a tuck spot here, but again, at the end of my journals, they always end up being very, very empty. So I tried to keep the last pages a little bit more interactive so I wouldn't lose myself, or I wouldn't get so bored with this journal, but I inevitably do. Another card that my friend got for me with right inside this little tuck spot here. I think that's glued down. This is a journaling card. This is some packaging from the Planner Society. I kept the backing, and I just sewed this image here. Coffee stain parchment paper. Another journaling card. Actually, I did pretty good at continuing to journal in the end of this one. There's another tag. I journaled on there. And then I got this punch, and so I was just testing that out on this piece of vellum. Another tag for gifts, and this looks like, I don't know what that's from. Must have been somewhere we ate or something. Oh, see, a journaling card that I never did any journaling on. So I was losing steam. And here's yet another one. And this is another digital advent kit that I don't think I did anything with, but the intentions were good. It's always the case. And then here is another, is this a birthday card? Mother's Day card. Wow, Mother's Day. This must have been an old card that I had in my stash, and I just wanted to make sure that it got put in there. And then at the end of this, I did some packing the 2020 memories. So I guess I just did some little bullet points of some of the memories and the things that we did in 2020. Okay, so yeah, I created this, and then here was my last post of the year. I said, as we all line up to get the heck out of 2020, don't forget to turn back for a moment and pack the blessings and lessons into your backpack. Yes, it was one of the hardest years, but don't let it blind you from the good that came from it. Look through your photos, write them down, and walk into 2021 with a grateful heart. Yeah. And I did feel that way, honestly, even though 2020 was just bleh. You know, if we looked back at the great things, I mean, I remember, you know, we swam in our backyard for the first time. We had never done that before because we didn't have to. And this was the only form of entertainment that we had at that point in 2020 because everything was closed. You know, the beaches even were closed. And so we started swimming in the marina. And it was just things like that. Those ended up being some of the best days. And so I just, if you find the blessings in anything, you know, it's always better to do that than to complain about what's wrong. So that's what I was trying to do. And that's what I did with that little memory book, is I went back and I looked at my photos and found all of the really fun times in 2020. So that was that. If you guys liked it, please give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Subscribe. I'm definitely a lot more active than I used to be on this channel. And so I'll be doing more process videos, more flip throughs as I fill up my journals. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. So thanks so much for joining me. Aloha.